The whole flower is completely different from the plant, the whole structure, and also the plant itself. So then I described it as cinnabariness. Cinnabar because Graham told me, oh no, we're looking for a color of brownish red. Cinnabar is, I think, cinnabar is the oxide of, is it mercury or something? Something like that. It's cinnabar. It's actually a nice name, cinnabar. Yeah, and then I got a list here of the other ones I got from a bloke who used to sell plants to Specs. Specs had a big nursery in Germany, and he sent me quite a lot. He sent me from Tanzania a species called angustifolia, and you'll see it there. Beautiful yellow flower, and with extremely small little seeds like this. And they don't have wings on. They also grow near Singita, a place in Tanzania. And he sent me, I think, 6 plants of each from 2 localities. Angola, what grows in Angola? There's a very pretty one that I got from him called Brasilensis, with a massive big flower, like a pinkish flower, you'll see it. It grows under the ground. And then he sent me some seeds of this one here, which I eventually named Angolensis. Right up in a very dry area. It's actually the cover photo of that I'll be showing you. It grows absolutely flat on the ground because where it grows is next to the Atlantic, and it has all these winds going on with the other. So the plants don't grow upwards, they have to grow flat. So this one grows flat, and like a hairy bone, the leaves are absolutely opposite, flat on the ground. That I got from him, the seed. I never got any plant grew from that. And eventually I described that one also in Indolensis. Then he sent me if you go to Windhoek, you go to the botanical garden, you'll see it's actually growing in between the rocks and things there. A very pretty little, goes about this high, Pterodiscus with a beautiful orange flower and red lip. And that one's called Orangiacus. And it grows from Windhoek right up into Angola. And then it also changes color in Angola to like a whitish color. And there are some photos of that one also there. And those ones I also got from Specs, also from seed. Then let's see. Oh yes, Zambia. What is Zambia? There's an underground one, just like this one. This one is Rospoli. This one comes from Ethiopia and those places. Only the top part of this is underground. This Pterodiscus have these big fat roots under the ground. Don't have a nice big fat cortex like this one above the ground. But the flowers are similar. But the one from Zambia is called Elioti. Those are big fat ones. And it has a beautiful flower. One from Zambia is almost like a purple flower, and the one from Zimbabwe are a reddish flower. So you just have this one stem coming out, and it's leaves, and then at every set of leaves you get a set of flowers. So as long as it grows, it actually flowers, like most of these. As long as they're growing well, they'll always flower. If they don't grow, you're not going to get flowers, not like other flowers. Then there was one that was sent to me. These were little plants from Specs from Somalia. He called it species nova from Eyl, E-Y-L. And his number was 16155. So it was all special. And I got some of those, and then I grew some of them. Quite difficult, small, tiny little cortex, maybe about that big, and just one little stem. Lots of flowers, very pretty, quite large seeds with multiple seeds inside. And that one is actually Kellerianus. He gave it to me as species nova, but it was Kellerianus, which has been described in 1910 or somewhere around there. Then there's this one here, also from Somalia, this Rospoli. And Rospoli has lovely yellow flowers, big flowers. And from 2 places we got one from Puntland in Somalia, and this other one from Somaliland. Somaliland is the part, I think, on the eastern part, and they want to become independent. they wanted independence from Somalia. Then there was one that he said he got from, what did he say? Somalia, but actually it didn't come from there. It came from Ethiopia, and in the southern portion of Ethiopia, where it's extremely dry, just above Kenya, and then you get Somalia, I mean, you get Ethiopia. And he went with a guy, they stopped next to the road, and they got up, and there was his block. And that one is another one that I've described. And that one I named after the bloke we showed it to. His name was Simone, S-I-M-O-N-E. So it's called Simone. I think the ones in South Africa, get around to them there. Yeah, Pretoria, just a few kilometers from me, you get one called Speciosus. It's also one of these that grows under the ground like this. But it also had very nice pink flowers, quite large ones. And there were some who still there. They're gone now. It grows, up there, and it grows, I've seen it right on the other side of Paris in the turf type of soils. I actually saw it at a farm there once, a few years ago. Ingarmicus is this one here. Ingarmicus grows at Rustevinter, but I'll show you the photos. They vary the photos. The ones at Rustevinter have this mottled type of flower, and the same mottled one you get along the Limpopo Valley, right at the top of South Africa. Ingarmicus. Then you get one at Pietersburg, just in the veld in Pietersburg, but it's not a very pretty. It's like a beige type of flower with a slight, not violet, but grayish type of petals. That's actually this one, yeah. That's the normal one that you get everywhere. And then you also get selections, but they are natural selections. Nice red and yellow one of Ingarmicus that we also have. Luridus, Nabotus, yeah, Macatiniensis. Right now, I think we can start because in total there are 13 species, of which I described 4 species. So that's 33% of them.
Ah, wow.
And most of them were described in the early 1900s. I think the first one was 1896 or something onwards. But there weren't very many descriptions until I started looking at that. That's all. Let's go on. Let's try this one. Aha. The power's on. Oh, there's on. These electronic things. Oh, yes. We need that. Oh, yes. You can go down there and I'll show you the difference. That's what's called Pterodiscus, which means ring sea. Yeah. So, and Combretum have also 4 seats. I mean, 4 wings. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me just have a look here. I must then do a bit of scrolling. Oops, let me try. Sing. How does this go down?
Can I quickly stop and reshare the screen?
Okay. We got the boffins here on computers. You know, we guys are just. How do I scroll down?
Maybe hold control.
Oh, this one.
The mouse, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so control is this one, no?
Control, yeah.
No.
Yeah, you just gotta scroll it a bit harder.
Okay, so this one here at the top is that you saw was Angolensis,
You can see how flat it grows. Whoops. And then, I can move it like this. Okay. And there you can see the growth form of it on that side.
Those reddish parts are those nectar glands on the flowers. The red parts on the flowers are those nectar glands.
Let's go back and see. Let's pull it back. Whoops. Those things on the sides, they probably attract. What I found pollinate them are solitary bees. You'll see later on. There's a photo of it. I eventually found out what actually pollinates them, and it's probably directs it into the opening where the pollen and the nectar is. So this is just talking about the 13 accepted species, and what are they related to? It belongs, you can see the family. It's related to the Sesamathamus, your Sesamathamus and Uncarina from Madagascar, and also, of course, to sesame, and to the devil's claw, which is that spiky, thorny thing there, which is Harpagophytum procumbens or zairi. Then it is also, let's see, I think it's also related to, what else is there? Things like, trying to think what other ones they are. It's quite a big family, the Pediaceae, the sesame family. Is that in focus? With my glasses, I can't see. Oh, is it? Okay. I believe you. And then I said that it's similar to, there you see the four-winged seed of the combretum, but it's not related as such. It just looks like it. And there's the two groups. There's the ones that have the cortex above the ground, and then the ones with the fat roots under the ground. And then we can, that's an Angolensis. These are the ones that have above ground cortexes. There's Angolensis, figure 1. Let's go to, that's the one there that you see. Then we have, oops, Aurantiacus, that one on the left top. That is Aurantiacus from Namibia. Very strong orange color, very pretty. And then you see the one on the other side is the one actually from Angola. You see like a whitish color. Otherwise, it's identical. It's just the one from Angola makes seeds like, well, you can see them there underneath the flower. It makes actually hundreds of seeds. The one underneath it is the one that I got from, that described and found at the Eland, that nice red one. You see, it's very pretty. Cinnabarinus. And then I got from the Kruger National Park, I got a photo of Duncan Mackenzie. He's from there, and he sent me one with actually orange red flowers. So it can actually vary from red to orange, the same Cinnabarinus. He sent some pictures to me. This is the Luridus that I said, that big fat one. And you can see the beautiful arrangement of the leaves, because it's almost a desert plant, so that she has thin leaves, doesn't have big fat leaves. But the flowers are flesh colored, not fantastic colored, and don't vary either. They all look the same. But it's a nice, makes a very nice bonsai type of plant with that fat cortex of it. And then the next one, whoops. The next one is the one that I photographed in October 2019 on the Mokatini Flats. You can see that euphorbia next to it on the right-hand side there, that one that Peter Brain says is actually Clivicola. And that's in the clump. Then, you see also like 2 or 3 other species. Well, no. And luckily, it is inundated with water, so, or else it wouldn't be there anymore. That's for sure. You know, in the summer season, you can hardly walk there. It's just a morass. There you can see its nice flowers on the right-hand side.
So they can survive the wet heat.
Especially that one. Yeah, that one can. Under those conditions, yes. I think, yeah, it's probably one of those that can, but many of these actually grow in turf soils, in clay soils. Many of these species do actually. But when you try and grow them and give them a bit too much water, then they want to rot. So it's actually funny. In their habitat, it can be wet and they can always be underwater and nothing happens to them. Here's the one near Pterodiscus, that one that I spoke about. This is what they look like. This is about 10 kilometers on the way to Zanid. If you go on the road there and you jump out and you look in the veld. And that's what it looks like. There you can see its seeds. It didn't have any flowers on, but it doesn't have a very, this one doesn't have a very pretty flower, not compared to the selection. You see the selection here has got this nice red, the petals, and then the tube is a nice yellow color. And the one from Rus de Winter and along the Limpopo Valley is this one, which is actually very pretty. It almost looks as if it's, well, almost sick, huh? It looks as if it's got a virus, but it doesn't have a virus. It's yellow and it's pink and it's purple and it's, yeah. Its flower's a bit smaller than this one on this side, but they're the same species. There you can see the top one was in Polokwane, and then B is the select form, and then plants from Rus de Winter. That was next to the dam there. There's a Rus de Winter dam, and we only found one plant. But I read in the herbarium, there are lots of them along the Zambezi Valley. Oh, not the Zambezi Valley, the Limpopo Valley. What's interesting, this is that simone. You can see the one on the right, it's actually got a funny bark. It's rough bark. You can see it's actually used to really dry climates. The flowers are also the only ones that are white and with like a purplish color in the middle. And there's some seedlings at the bottom that grew from seed. And this one, it can't take too much water. This one, you give it a bit too much water, the whole thing just rots. It also is the only one that doesn't have fat roots. They're just thin little, like a grass roots. But it's the only species, the simone, that have those type of roots. The rest are all fat roots either under the ground or half fat under the ground. There you can see simone from southern Ethiopia, showing the dark purple tube, white petals. That was a year after after germinating them. They can grow actually very fast. Maybe that's why, you know, where they come from, when the rain comes, then it's got to really grow, really get going. Then we get the other ones that grow under the ground. These are all the ones that have a cortex above the ground. There you have them. You have angustifolia, the one from Tanzania, Brasilensis from Angola, Elioti from Zimbabwe and Zambia, Calerianus that comes from, it grows in a few countries up there. It grows in Somalia, I think it grows in Kenya, and Rospoli is very pretty. You'll see it just now. And Speciosus, the one that grows around Pretoria too. Let's have a look. You see there's, whoops, the one on the top left, that's angustifolia. Large flowers, pretty. And there you see on the other side, that was the first time ever, I always thought it was ants. They were pollinating because they were full of ants. But the thing is, they have, at the base of the leaf, it's got a little black nectary, and it gives off nectar, and the ants love it. And I think the ants are there actually to protect the plant from pests and things like that. There's always ants there. And then I saw one day, here is the one, and luckily could get a photo of a solitary bee or wasp. And the one at the bottom here, this is very pretty. You see the color? This is the one. Why it's called Brasilensis, I don't know, because it's not anywhere near Brazil. Angola, yes, they both are Portuguese, but how it got that name, I have no idea. if someone mixed up the herbarium specimens and thought it came from Brazil or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like they did with Aloe somalensis, huh? What's that one called? No, what's that? Socotra, Aloe socotra. I mean, it grows in Cape Town, but they thought it came from Socotra. And that is named, now it's called Socotra. Maybe that's what happened to this Braziliensis. These are Elioti. Just look at those flowers. The one on the left has these more reddish flowers, and that one has almost violet flowers. Very, very pretty. Very large too, about 5 centimeters across. Yeah, they're big, big, big flowers. And that one just has this 1 or 2 stems above the ground, and as it grows, it has these flowers. Always 2 at a node. All these pterodiscus always have 2 at a node.
And of course, all these above ground parts die down.
That's right.
In
So,
the winter.
yeah, in the winter you won't find anything. You'll just see the
In
seed.
winter, you think there's just desert.
That's right. So it's no use going to Zimbabwe or Zambia in winter.
Yeah.
Let's go there in December, then you'll find them. Then this is Kellerianus. But you can see it also comes from Somalia and Ethiopia and the dry areas. Also got these thin little leaves like Luridus from South Africa. And they are quite pretty little flowers, quite a big seed pod with lots of seed in. It has maybe 10, 20 seeds in it. Where on the other one looks very similar. The one, this was photographed just before Walmansfeld, just north of, about 10 kilometers north of my plot, Hammanskraal, near Hammanskraal, in the veld there. They were growing there. How much longer they'll be there? I think they'll be full of houses one of these days. I thought there'd be lots of other things, but there weren't. There was this one, and I was actually looking for brachystelmas and things. This one is very pretty. This is that one with the fat roots at the bottom there, the one that has these fattest roots that go out. That's the one, Rispoli, and they come from Ethiopia, Somalia, and the Sudan. The one on the right has almost like a grayish, bluish green leaf, very pretty. And that shape is also distinctive of this species. Very big seeds. You can see one of the biggest seeds there in front is from it. Rispoli. There I talk about at the base of the leaves are 2 distinct extra floral nectaries. And they are, and they're darker spots. I'm trying to think on the leaves of Aurantiarchos and figure 3A. Let's see if we can quickly find that 3A. That one actually shows those nectaries very nicely. 3A. 3A, yeah, there. 3A. Look, can you see something? I can't, can you?
I think if you go forward another page, there was one plant there.
Oh, yes, that one. I had this one there. You see there? There, see there, those black spots. Those are the nectaries. And all the species have them. Another thing about this whole genus, if you touch the leaves, they're like smelly, but they give off like a soap. So what you can do is you just put your hands on the leaves, and then you can put some water on, and you can wash your hands. Yeah, completely soapy. Okay, let's go down. We were at the bottom here. Then we get past Braziliensis, past there, yeah. What's also interesting about these things is that the fresh seed usually never germinates. And it's like this devil's claw, it can sit there for years, and then eventually it breaks open and the seeds get in and then they germinate. I think you can probably store the seed of all of these for quite a few years, especially if it's dry.
There's 2 pictures of Raspolia. they look very different. I mean,
They do. They come from two different places.
not just the flowers, but also the leaves.
Yeah,
Even the leaf structure looks different.
yeah, it looks a bit, but yeah, you do get variation within even say Mogatiniensis. You'll get different plants, but that one on the other side's got like a pinkish tinge, which makes it look nice. But otherwise the seeds are the same. The structure of the flower when you open it is all exactly the same, where the pistil is and where the stamens are, and the length of the tube and things like that. There are actually those seeds in front there. So there you can see, there's that Rospoli, that one that I showed you that has the yellow flowers. Rospoli, just the one above it, has a massive seed pod and with lots of seeds in it. There you can see the next one is Somone. Yeah, that's the one that comes from Ethiopia, the southern part. And then there's that Angolensis, the one right at the beginning, the one that is flat on the ground. And then the smallest Angustifolius, without any wings. And
What is the distribution of Rospoli?
oh, yeah, that one is quite, where did I say, Kenya? Yeah.
But not Southern Africa.
Oh, no, not at all. No, these are all the ones that have many seeds in the seed pods are from, say, north of Zambia and things like that, into Kenya and Somalia and those. All the ones that either have only 4 seeds or 2 seeds in that seed capsule, they all come from down here. Yeah. These all have lots of seeds, which is actually quite nice. You can also see how big and fat that one is. Inside there will be maybe 10, 15 seeds. This one also only has 4, the one from Angola. And this little one usually only has, although this one does come from Tanzania, it has space for 4, but usually it only has 2. I think it's so small that the other 2 don't develop, the other 2 seeds. Then this one I got from Specs years ago, 2005, and I only got 1 plant, and unfortunately that silly thing died before it ever made any seed, never made any seed. So it's still to be named and found and all that. Yeah. And I don't think he even knows where he got it from then. Because he had these collectors all over Africa, and they used to send him all these plants. And then he thought, there are hybrids, you see. If you start hybridizing, then you can actually start getting very big, glossy, pretty flowering plants. Okay, that top left-hand one has definitely got the one from Namibia, Orantiacus.
You don't find these in nurseries.
No, you don't. And there, this one's actually quite nice. It's got a very dark reddish flower, almost like. Then you come to the problems of growing them. What are they susceptible? Oh, they're susceptible to mealybug, spider mite, especially the 2-spot mite or red spider mite, and also a type of fungus. It's like a powdery mildew that you get on the leaves. But if you spray them with wearable sulfur, yeah, then you can control it. So there are the 13 species. And you can see that Angolensis was the last aloe that was ever published. In 2018, I published that species there. And you can see there, excuse me, Angustifolia is 1894. Then there was the one in Namibia by Velvich. Of course, he was a German. In 1860 from Namibia. Brasilensis, you see, 1888. Cinnabarinus Peckover in aloe in 2016. 1906, Elioti, I'm trying to think, Kiloranus is also one of those old things. Luridus, 1869. Then 2016, Macatiniensis. 1906, Engramicus. 1902 was Rospoli. Somonae was what I did in 2019. Speciosus was 1844. So you can see almost like 100 years went by and no one got around to describing any new species. Yeah, there must be still a few more around because that yellow one above is definitely new. It just takes people going in the veld and opening your eyes during the growing season. It's not as if you can't see them. You know, they've got quite colorful flowers. You'll see it immediately. So that's the whole genus of Pterodiscus. But that's not where it stops. I want to show you something else about what I'm wanting to do next on this whole lot. Yeah, can we go out of that one and go onto my screen again?
This is annoying. Can't do that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
Oh yes, I want to just go to this one that's called 2018 Pterodiscus. That one is one that I was working on. Oops.
what's that in the background there? Russian stuff.
Oh, that's a Cerepegia from West Africa. Somewhere. Beautiful thing.
Mhm.
I downloaded it from the internet, but I wish I had it. Okay, this one.
Okay.
If you can make that, can you make it bigger like that?
Yeah, so let me quickly share the screen
Okay.
on Zoom.
I just wanted to show you something about the seed and how similar they are to the devil's claw. And that is what I'm going to be working on in the next year or two. Because somewhere there's something wrong of the whole group. Either all the Pterodiscus are Harpagophytums, or Harpagophytum is a Pterodiscus. Yeah, there's a few pictures just showing.
So you can scroll through with the arrow key there if you want.
Which arrow key? Oh, this one.
You see it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me. Loading. Yeah, actually, I want to go faster. Those are Cerepegias. I don't want Cerepegias. I want these ones. But there's some that I looked at. Prochistos.
Do we need another method for?
No, it's fine. We'll get to
We'll get there.
enlarged one. Yeah, you see, these are seeds of that Elioti. That's a side view. Can you see those little things sticking up? And you can see the wings are all flattened, which means this thing is not actually chased around in the veld by wind. It's not distributed by wind. The other four are nicely like wings and they go around. This is the one. And then the next one, I'll show you the next one. Where you're supposed to be working. This little arrow doesn't want to work. That arrow there.
Next one to the right.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Still not working.
Still not moving.
Try now. It's like I'm gonna have to click.
Oh, okay, I can click. Oh, let me click. Then it'll be easier. Let me click. Yeah, I'm looking at the surface of those seeds. There's another. Yeah, there's one. Yeah, I've got 3 species together. I think there's a nice one. See, this one is that Angustifolia from Tanzania. It doesn't have any wings at all, but it has these little spikes which are actually hidden under very thin little, like a paper covering. So if something comes along and treads on it, it's going to get really spiked, some little civet or something, and it'll stick to it and it'll cart it along to somewhere else. And these ones are 2. This is Brasilensis, and this is Elioti. Zambia and other. And they're starting to go like that because you can see the wings are actually starting to go flattened and almost disappearing. Yeah, there's a photo there showing all these little projections on top for distribution. Let me go right to the end now. I took lots of photos, just showing some of them in there. You can see on the tops. But there's one here of the Peckover that I want to show you. Yeah, here. Yeah, you see completely on the left, very short little stumps. Hardly anything. And then you get the one right on the right, and that's all one species. Eh? So you get this grading from something that's really carted around on the right-hand side by an animal, a little goat or something treads into that, boy, it'll be taken very far before it starts bleeding and gets rid of it. You can see one on the desk just now. You can have a look at them. These I took because I do inspections in Namibia, right in the Caprivi, of a species called Zairi. There's Peckover zairi, and then there's procumbens, and then there's this subspecies that's found there near Chappies. And I think because the flowers are similar, the underground roots are similar, they'd all die back in winter. If you open that, it's also, the seeds are also packed on both sides, like the ones from right up there in Somalia and things. So our next thing is to do this Raspoli that we got here and Orantiacos that have the big fat underground ones. Try the underground stems, chop them up and have them analyzed for harpagoside, because harpagoside is what is in Peckover, which is a natural anti-inflammatory. You get the stuff called harpago tea and everything, and Germans are very fond of it. And it's made of those roots. The roots are cut up, dried and ground up, and then it's got this active ingredient which stops the inflammation of, And if I find in the species of Pterodiscus any harpagoside, then I'm going to bring out a paper, and either they're all going to be Peckover or they're all going to be Pterodiscus, because that's how it works. They can't be different. When the flowers are the same, the seeds are very similar, the growth is very similar, they all have those same nectaries next to the, even Peckover has those two little nectaries next to the petiole. Yeah, and that will be actually quite good too. I'll be like Peter Brains, lumping them all. But there's only two to lump, so it's not too bad. You don't lump every single Hoodia and Stapelia and everything into Ceropegia. That's basically my talk, but you can come up to the front and I can show you those seeds over there, and we can open them a bit. And then there are a few plants I brought along that I think we can put up for auction. Whoever wants there's a few nice specimens there to the highest bidder. And then I think the society can get that money.